Alright guys, I've got some information for you about the COVID-19 vaccines in Australia, and I'll start off with the Chief Medical Officer Paul Kelly, and then we'll go to an article for some extra information.
So the AstraZeneca vaccine is one of the key components of our strategy, and the reason for that is we're making it here. Whilst the Pfizer vaccine will be the one that we'll get first, most likely, and we know that that's well advanced. It's being in terms of the data that they're giving to the TGA, our regulator in this regard, and it's the one that will have the most experience around the world. It was the first to get the emergency use authorisation in the US, the UK, and other places. So Pfizer's first. But it is being made overseas. There is a limited supply that we'll be getting of the Pfizer vaccine, whereas for the AstraZeneca vaccine, it's being made in CSL right now in Melbourne, and it's well advanced. So we'll be getting large supplies of the AstraZeneca vaccine. So that is the one we will have available for most people during this year, is the AstraZeneca vaccine. So in terms of its effectiveness, what we have so far is interim results from their phase 3 trials that was published in The Lancet in early December. And that's what I've seen, the same as you have, Josh. But what the regulators will get is a much more fulsome set of data from AstraZeneca when they are ready to give it. And so our estimate is that they'll be ready to give that information that we need, that the TGA needs to make that decision in February. And so once we have that, that's when we'll be able to answer exactly your questions about what is the actual dose that should be used. The ones that have given emergency use authorisation to AstraZeneca have gone with the full dose twice, 2 doses at the full dose. There is part of the information, as you say, from that study showed that perhaps a half dose first and a full dose second may be more beneficial. But that remains to be seen. They are interim data. People should be very wary about making decisions or suggestions about that particular vaccine as being less effective on the basis of interim data from one study. I think we should wait for the regulator to do their full work.
Alright, we'll go through this article and discuss it as we go. Most people in Australia will get the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, Chief Medical Officer Paul Kelly said, and this is from the 10th of the 1st, 2021. While the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine will likely be the first to get approval in Australia, most of us will end up receiving the Oxford AstraZeneca shot, Chief Medical Officer Paul Kelly said. Okay, I already find it interesting that the first one that will be approved will not be the one that most people will be receiving. We know that the Pfizer vaccine is the one that will have the most experience around the world because it was the first to get emergency use authorization in the US, UK and other places, he said. But it is being made overseas. There is limited supply that we will be getting of the Pfizer vaccine. It also presents logistical challenges. The Pfizer vaccine needs to be shipped and stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the Pfizer vaccine is going to probably be approved first, but that won't be the one most people will receive. It's being made overseas, needs to be shipped and stored in minus 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, alright, let's keep going. As for the AstraZeneca vaccine, it is being made right now in Melbourne and it is well advanced, so we will be getting large supplies of the AstraZeneca vaccine, Professor Kelly said. That's the one we will have available for most people during the year. The coronavirus vaccine rollout is now expected to begin in Australia next month, almost 6 weeks earlier than the government originally expected. Australia has secured 10 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine and 53.8 million of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The first to be rolled out will be from Pfizer, which the government hopes to have approved by the end of this month. Professor Kelly said the Therapeutic Goods Administration should have the information it needed to be able to make a decision on approving the AstraZeneca vaccine in February. What do you mean they're making it if they haven't approved it yet? Carrying on. Professor Kelly said nations that had given emergency use authorization to the AstraZeneca vaccine had opted to administer the full dose twice. In November last year, AstraZeneca said the vaccine protected against the virus in 62% of those in a group given 2 full doses. In another group, which was initially given half a dose, the vaccine was 90% effective. Now, if we go back to this hyperlink, so if we click on that, let's see where it takes us. Alright, this is from November, and this is what it says. Researchers found that if people were given a half a dose followed by a full dose of the vaccine rather than 2 full doses, about 90% of the people were protected. Where 2 full doses were given at least 1 month apart, it showed 62% efficiency. The combined average across different dosing regimes, which had a total of 11,636 trial participants, was 70% effective. Only 2,741 people in the trial got the most effective dose, while 8,895 people were given the 2 full doses a month apart. Okay. You can tell that I really want to comment on this, but I'll finish reading before I do, because I think you guys should know all the details before I lose my shit. Alright, now back to the original article I was reading. However, the second group included only 2,741 people, which was too few to provide a conclusive result. Because of this, Professor Kelly said people should be very wary about making decisions or suggestions about that particular vaccine as being less effective on the basis of interim data from one study. I think we should wait for the regulator to do their full work. Confidence in the AstraZeneca vaccine, most crucial component for rollout. The federal government has spent $24 million on a public health messaging campaign due to launch this month ahead of the expected vaccine program rollout. Professor Kelly said he hoped the campaign would help build confidence in the AstraZeneca vaccine in Australia. The crucial component of a vaccine rollout is confidence in a system, so we need to build confidence in this particular vaccine. What the fuck did I just read? Oh my god. Okay, we don't even want to worry about the fact that they're going to import 10 million Pfizer vaccines, which have to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius. I guess that's just for the haves, you know, because that's supposedly 90% effective. Let's just jump straight into the fact that in Melbourne, they're making a vaccine that they haven't approved yet, that will be approved second, that you need 2 shots for. And now let's talk about these numbers, shall we? Fun fact for everyone, 62% of 8,895 is still a bigger number than 90% of 2,741. I fucking hate it when they use percentages. They always do this. They always do this with percentages. Okay, let's just go back over what our chief medical officer said. People should be very wary about making decisions or suggestions about that particular vaccine as being less effective on the basis of data from one study. You're right, Paul. Right on. You know what you should do? Make sure that this quote-unquote most effective method is tried on another 6,154 people and then come back to us with the percentage. What a shit show. What an absolute fucking shit show. I can't be the only one that when you see them spending a couple of $1 million on a confidence campaign, that suddenly destroys a lot of confidence you had in what they were doing. Because it's a pandemic. It shouldn't be hard to sell the vaccine to people. If it works, you should be able to save yourself $24 million. Oh my. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, send this to an Australian, please and thank you.